Welcome to St. Louis Presents.
Hi, Gabby. Good to see you again.
Happy spring, I think.
I think it's officially here, right?
We're not sure, though.
It kind of comes and goes.
It really does.
The
It's weird when February is warmer than March, and who knows what April is going to bring.
I had flowers blooming in mid-February, and then a snowstorm, and I don't know what's next, huh?
I don't either.
Well, it's been a
Snow
while.
on opening day,
Yeah, baseball?
probably.
You looking forward to that?
Sure. I love spring, except when it comes in February.
Right.
Well, we have an action-packed show today.
Well, I wanted to mention one thing before we went
Oh,
any farther,
sorry.
because I haven't seen you in a little while. I just want to take a second that you missed a major birthday of mine.
Would it have
And
been yours?
I don't really
Your
want to talk
birthday?
about it, but I'm officially like a senior citizen now, so it was very traumatic. I'm sorry you missed it.
I am too, because I got you donuts last year, and this year I could have gotten the senior citizens discount, right?
Well, thanks for reminding me that, like all my other friends do. But you know, it's kind of a mixed blessing because right now I do qualify now for a number of senior citizen discounts,
And that's good.
but I also need help crossing the street, so I
Oh,
don't know where we're going with that.
well, we'll be glad to help you.
Hey, we have a guest by the name of Justin Bennett. Now, I don't know how old he is. We may have to ask him about that.
Or
But-
not.
Yeah, or not. But his company, Geodata, recently was recognized by the Small Business Administration in St. Louis, and they're big on hiring vets, and there's a story behind that. So,
Well, there's also a story behind another business we're going to learn about. Now, did you realize that more than half of women in America wear a size larger than the sizes you normally find in a store?
no.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. It's a little mind-boggling. So we're going to talk about a new business here in St. Louis, and not new, that caters to women who wear those sizes that you can't find in the store. So stick
That should
around
be
for that.
interesting. Always love a good fashion story. We're also going to hear about a new incubator space, DK Solutions, and it's run by a husband and wife team, and they are looking for underrepresented entrepreneurs, I think is how they put it. So there's a story there.
Yes, we have an entrepreneur revolution, it seems, in St. Louis these days, which is always a great thing. So we're going to learn about all of that and more. Stick around for this edition of St. Louis Presents here on STL TV. Welcome back. Geodata IT LLC was recently named the 2017 Minority-Owned Small Business of the Year for Eastern Missouri by the U.S. Small Business Administration's St. Louis District Office.
The company has also been recognized for achievement in enterprise management, service delivery, and enterprise operations by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
And joining us right now is the president and CEO, Justin Bennett. Thanks for being with us and congratulations.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
What does that award mean for you?
It's huge by a couple different factors. One, being recognized on such a large scale from the Small Business Administration is extremely key to our growth. And then secondly, we're on a PR blitz, like as you can imagine, trying to suck up all the marketing we can to get raise awareness that we exist. Number one. Number two is getting out there and letting everybody know the goodness that we bring to the table.
Well, tell us what Geodata does, because I'm always so proud of all of these great businesses that I learn about in St. Louis, but sometimes I don't really understand what they do.
Yeah, it's super secret.
Yeah.
I told you. So as far as Geodata IT, we founded in 2012 right here in the city of St. Louis. I myself am a city resident. We are downtown on Washington Avenue, 555 Washington, in an incubator co-working space called Industrious. For Geodata IT, what we do is very specialized geospatial information system data problem solving. And what that really means is there's a lot of bad data out there, and we're here to help the government solve it.
So you're a bunch of techies.
We are geeks.
A lot of bad data out there. I think we hear that a lot.
So explain to me, I'm just a little unclear about it myself, what your connection is to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. I mean, how directly do you work for them, or?
As a government employee, we don't work for them. As a industry contractor, we do. So we do provide support and services to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency through a series of our prime contractors. So we are directly involved with helping.
So just with them, though?
Well, with them and in addition to other places like Scott Air Force Base, U.S. Transportation Command, Air Mobility Command, and DISA.
Now, you are a veteran yourself, so is that how you kind of got into this, working with Scott Air Force Base and with the government?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been in the intelligence and Department of Defense industry for about 18 years now. I myself was a U.S. Air Force veteran for 3 Charlie, for all of those guys out there that are listening. And I've since turned it into a career or as an entrepreneur. I love what I do, and I love supporting national security.
I understand, too, that you're very big on hiring veterans. So what kind of veterans are you looking for? Who are you looking for?
Yeah, so any veterans in the cybersecurity support services, we are actively hiring on a regular basis. Software engineering and application development, we are hiring as well. Right now, we're sitting at 67% veteran.
Now, it certainly has a few more hoops to go through, but President Trump's budget plans are calling for increased defense spending. Does that trickle down to be beneficial for companies like Geodata?
Absolutely. From a small business standpoint, federal regulations have a certain amount of set aside for companies like small businesses like myself, who are not only small disadvantaged business, minority-owned business, but then also I am part of the 8A Business Development Program for the SBA. Huge for us because not only the set aside, but the increased spending means there's more to trickle down.
And how about this new geospatial location in North St. Louis? Is that going to affect you much? Are you involved in that whole process at all? Or?
Absolutely, yes. We are involved. It is a large program, probably in the billions, and we have a series of prime contractors that we do work with, big companies like General Dynamics, CSRA, and a number of other Saudi Solutions, such. So.
Now, you are in an incubator on Washington Avenue, as you said. So for those who hear incubator all the time, I obviously don't work in one, so I'm not sure how that works. Do you eventually move out? Like, will your business be growing so much with, all of the honors that you're getting and new clients coming in that eventually you see your company moving out of the incubator? Or is it comfortable there you could stay as long as you want?
It's comfortable. We could stay as long as we want. My goal is to really keep the space because it's a very, very neat, tight-knit community. Everybody helps each other. We have some marketing folks that we work together with, some people that do innovations. We all kind of help each other. My goal is to really keep that space intact, but knowing that when we grow, we will absolutely grow into our own space and hopefully buy our own building, which would be good.
It's a little complicated for me, this whole kind of concept, to understand this. So I want you to explain something. And Debbie, I don't know, but our guest here, Mr. Bennett, has been described, I'm going to quote it here, as an innovator in intelligent solutions architecture. So you know what that means, right, Debbie?
Of
course. No. Sounds good.
Yeah, so I myself have been on the geek side. So we do more of the solutions architecture support, providing broad general guidance when it comes to designing entire enterprises such as NGA.
And you went through a small business administration program recently, didn't you?
I did. So I am a recent graduate in October of 2016 from the SBA-sponsored Emerging Leaders Program. What that program is, by the way, the program is awesome. For anybody that is a CEO looking to grow a business, that program is for you. The program really helped me focus in on what is necessary to grow your business, and you really get out of it what you put in. So you put the 100+ hours of your free time that you don't have into it, you will absolutely get tons of return out of it.
Well, Justin Bennett, congratulations to you and Geodata for all the success, and we look forward to seeing where your company goes from here. We have a little information there on the screen of where you can get more information. We are going to take a little break here, but when we come back, we are going to see what's in Sydney's closet.
I've heard about that.
So stick around. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Gone. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Joining me now are Phyllis, Brasch, Librach, and Michelle Rosenfield, President and Vice President of Sydney's Closet, a designer dedicated to special occasion wear for exclusively plus-size women. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I heard a statistic, Michelle, and I had to look it up because I wasn't even, I couldn't believe that it was true, because you had told me, I think it was that over 60% of women in this country wear over a size 16.
Yes, about 2/3 of all American women wear over a size 16, and that's who we cater to, size 14 to 40.
So when you go into a regular store, you know, like any clothing store, they usually go up to a 12, maybe a 14, which means that 2/3 of the women in this country are unable to shop at many of the stores in this country. Was that kind of the brainchild, Phyllis, behind Sydney's Closet?
What inspired me to start Sydney's Closet was I went shopping for a plus-size prom dress for my daughter, and I couldn't find one. And at the time, I was a journalist, I was a reporter, and I did the research. I looked at the quantitative data, I looked at the qualitative data, and I found the facts that you're sharing with the audience. And I said, this is staggering, we are not alone. So we started out as a brand solution to make what had been a very difficult shopping experience a happy and rewarding one.
I think oftentimes when women are buying plus size clothing, a lot of times the designer is just taking a dress that they had made for someone in a size 4 and then made it a 14 or a 24, which doesn't really work, because you try on something and you're like, this is silly, this is not designed for me. So how do you go about designing those clothes?
Well, you're 100% right. It will never work if you start with a 4. We start with a size 16, and today we brought our size 16 mannequin here so you can see what the proportions are like. We have perfected a size chart that is very generous. You have to be able to grade up from a larger size. So if you start grading from a smaller size, as the body gets bigger, it doesn't get bigger proportionately. So our size chart is perfected so it fits and flatters women with real curves. For example, the amount of inches between the bust and the waist is only 5 inches, but the industry standard is about 8.
Wow. So I imagine that when girls and women discover Sydney's Closet, it must be this sigh of relief, because I have a hard time shopping at most stores. So when I find somebody who has something that actually fits me and looks good, I just want to get on my hands and knees and thank them.
So that's part of the reason why we have moved from the retail perspective, created our own designs, and we primarily do a wholesale business. There's 3 local stores that carry our product, as well as over 200 stores around the world.
Around the world?
Yes.
So how big is this market right now? I mean, we've talked about the number of women who obviously need the services that Sydney's Closet offers, but as far as other stores and other designers, I mean, why does it seem like the fashion world has not clued into this yet?
So Phyllis, as the president and designer, worked really hard to develop her size chart, and that is what has made the difference. The other designers haven't figured out the right proportions and how to go from a size 2 to whatever size. So Phyllis has worked really hard, and the design aspect is what has helped us be successful.
Now, you recently put out a call for local models. Now we see this beautiful model behind us on the poster, and you had said that you were looking for some local talent to model some of your designs. How was the response for that?
Amazing.
Overwhelming.
Amazing.
And the applications are still coming in, and we anticipate when it's all said and done, hundreds and hundreds of women with real curves who have always dreamed of being a model will have answered our casting call. And most of them are from the St. Louis area.
That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing some of those because I think a lot of the frustration too for women who wear a plus size is the plus size models are like a 12 and they're not necessarily completely representing what that outfit would look like on somebody who's truly plus size.
When we do our professional photography, we never shoot a model smaller than 16, and some of our models are 18. And part of the reason we did the casting call was to get real women. We want our customers to see themselves in our marketing materials, in our photography, in our social media. So only 2% of the plus size women are ever represented in marketing materials for clothing.
I should also point out, before this interview ends, we showed this beautiful dress, which could be a prom dress or any kind of fancy occasion, but you also have a whole bridal line too.
We do. We have a prom line, a bridal line, a social occasion or evening for mother of the bride or special event. We really expanded and are trying to cater to that 2/3 of America for their special events.
And you are located here in the St. Louis area.
We are. Our warehouse is in Maryland Heights, but like I said, we have local stores that do carry our product.
That's fantastic. So I know we have some information for people. It's Sydney's Closet at sydneyscloset.com. And you can get that information there. They're also all over social media as well. So the next time you're looking for a beautiful dress for that special occasion and feeling frustrated, remember it's Sydney's Closet. Michelle and Phyllis, thanks so much for sharing your story and really filling that niche, because they do say that necessity is the mother of invention, right?
It is. It is. We're here to prove that.
Well, continued success, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to turn our attention right now to Steve Potter, who has headlines for us. Steve?
The Mardi Gras Foundation and 7th Ward Alderman Jack Coder recently announced funding for a new security camera program in Soulard. The program will place 16 cameras throughout the Soulard neighborhood. Many of the cameras will also have the ability to recognize license plates. Several community organizations and businesses joined together to make the project a reality. The system is expected to be complete by this fall. For more information about the program, visit stlmardigras.org. The Missouri Historical Society has unveiled its latest plans and renderings for renovations at Soldiers Memorial Military Museum. The new exhibits will feature between 250 and 300 artifacts and will tell the stories of servicemen and women from St. Louis and our city's contributions to the war effort. A long-term exhibition on the main floor will feature 4 sections ranging from pre-World War I to post-World War II. Rotating exhibitions will be housed in the lower level, where space will be more than doubled. The $30 million renovation is on schedule to be completed in November of 2018. To stay up to date on the latest progress, visit mohistory.org/soldiersmemorial. The 8th annual Lung Cancer Connections Run, Walk, Breathe 5K Run and Walk is scheduled for Saturday, April the 22nd. Activities will include survivor recognition, a dance jam warm-up, a kids tent with clowns, face painting, and special activities along with live music from Steve Ewing. The event will take place from 8 a.m. until noon at Chesterfield Amphitheater and is open to adults, children, and friendly pets of all ages. For more information, visit lungcancerconnectioninc.org. And St. Louis Chess Cops, that's Cops Helping Enhance Student Skills, is a new program that pairs area police officers with local inner-city students to help them learn the game of chess while fostering positive relationships between the police department and the local community. Our cameras were there when the program recently kicked off. Let's take a look.
We're here for the Cops Chess Club with the Scholastic Chess Club and St. Louis Public Schools. We put together a program that's going to give officers an opportunity to go into schools and interact with young people through chess, which chess we know is a strategic game. So we're basically going to put young people in a safe environment and give them an opportunity to interact with police officers that they may not have otherwise had a chance to interact with. Right now it's 8. We hope to add more. I think it's something that has the potential to really take off because it's going to give those officers that may not have been a part of any other programs an opportunity to do something that's different. This has never been done before. So we want to pull some of those officers out and say, hey, you know what? I may not be able to coach basketball, but I can teach chess, and I've always wanted to learn how to play chess, so they're going to teach me how to play it, and they're going to teach me how to teach it. So we're going to get an audience that we may not have otherwise gotten with some of the other things that we've done.
I think it's a wonderful program, and the kids make it joyful because they're so interested and they're willing to learn and they ask the right questions. And as a teacher, that's what speaks to me the most, and it makes my job wonderful to do every single day. Absolutely, I think it's the perfect way to do it because you're sitting down across the table from someone, and you're playing against someone that you may have never met, but it's the same challenge. You're putting something else on the line. You're putting your intelligence on the line, and when you can do that, and you sit down. And you're offering these ideas, and you can be creative on the board, and you challenge one another, and it's the game. The game kind of takes over, and you don't have to think about much else. And so then that's what builds the connections, because you start at the board, you start on those squares, moving the pieces around, and then from that you start to build relationships, you build a rapport. The same thing happened with me. Is when you first start out, you don't know each other, right? And then you have to be able to break down as many barriers as you can, and a game is just a great way to do that. It's a simple and a peaceful way to do that.
For more information about chess cops, you can visit stlouischessclub.org.
You know, I love that story, Steve.
I do. I used to play chess back in the day. I kind of remember how.
I know how to play. I just have no game. Like, I completely lack strategy. Anyway, our next guests are self-described serial entrepreneurs.
That sounds scary. We got to find out what that means. They recently opened DK Annex, an incubator space for underrepresented business owners and leaders, and they're the founders of Social Synergy Project Network.
And here to tell us more about their endeavors, James and Kristy Jackson. Welcome.
Serial entrepreneurs. Should
I
I be scared?
Yes.
No knives involved.
Right, it can be a little scary. It sounds scarier than it really is. We have several businesses and organizations that we have founded and that we operate to support our community. Our mission has always been to help people reach their full potential. So all of our businesses relate to that in some way. It's service.
Well, I love this theme of this show. We started out the show talking about Geodata, which is an incubator downtown, and a mother-daughter team who started their own clothing company, and now we're talking about your incubator and your businesses. So don't you feel like there's just this great energy in St. Louis these days in the entrepreneurial community?
There's a lot of energy and a lot of buzz, and you know, some of the words that sparked me through listening to the other guests was a sense of community and seeing yourself in spaces. And so that's really what led us to starting Social Synergy and creating space, an incubator space for entrepreneurs that don't typically see themselves in the startup community, whether it's through their industry or whether it's through culture, whether it's through age. And so we just wanted to be proactive in opening up a space to provide that for entrepreneurs in our community.
Yeah, let me pick up on what you were saying, James. Who are these entrepreneurs? Are these, I mean, can you categorize them? Are they young people just starting out, or who are they?
I mean, it's a myriad of people. We have, I represent the creatives. So, you know, musicians.
Because you're a musician.
Yes, artists, even the service industry. Those are the underrepresented that we feel that we want to help out, especially in our city, because right now in our city it's thriving with the tech, the bio, and we wanted to reach out to the creatives and say, hey, we can help you. We have a space, you can come, we can share with you and work with you to get your business off the ground.
That is really interesting, because I never thought about that. If you're a musician, you are an entrepreneur. I mean, you're in business for yourself. So I can imagine that person wouldn't necessarily see themselves as somebody who would be looking for An
Yes,
incubator or office
yes,
space.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were a jazz musician, by the way. What'd you play, by the way?
Drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's one of our experience really has drawn us to this because, James has been a musician for about 20 years and
Yeah.
he has seen himself as an entrepreneur, which sort of separates him aside from his talent from his work ethic. He shows up early. He, takes care of his business. He, follows up, so he does those things that are typical entrepreneurial strategies and activities that a lot of musicians don't do.
And those are typical because of those things you have to do to make a living,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Well,
also
can
the
you give me an
service.
example, like paint a picture of maybe somebody that you were involved with recently, an entrepreneur? I mean, who are they? What was their idea? How'd they get started? And how did you help them?
Well, we have we just recently had a 71-year-old doctor, musician, speaker. He has a long list of things he's done. Author, composer, and he wanted to put it together. He wanted help, and he wanted to create a film. So he has recently come to us after reading the article we had published in the St. Louis American, and he came and wanted help, and so we're helping him create the film.
I mean, do you help these people find money or resources?
Right.
Or what?
If we can do it, we do it. But if we can't, we point them to the resources that can help.
Now we're seeing some on the monitors right now, some of the views from inside your incubator, which is on Jefferson.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
In Benton Park, and I'd seen this building all the time, but I didn't know what it was. It's a really cool old building. Can you talk about what the space was before you decked it out the way it looks now?
Sure, it was a streetcar repair station, and so it's actually on the National Historic Registry. It's a really, really cool space, which lends itself to the flexible use of it. So we have photographers that really love to come in and utilize the space for shoots. Our annex is we call it a flexible use space. It's a venue space, but we do encourage businesses to come in and utilize it. We encourage meetings. We do host social events, but we really do prefer the corporate meeting style events. We like to call it a beta box for those entrepreneurs that have an idea to try an event. Some of the events that we've done we've called them a test shot, where we have photographers come in and they network with each other. You can build your portfolio, taking pictures in the space. We're doing an event for caterers called the Test Kitchen, where you can come in and you can try new recipes, where you can kind of get feedback from those that will come and kind of taste your food. So we really do try to create that space for businesses to come in and present their supplies, present their idea, present their product to the community.
And do you find that you guys have a line at the door?
We do.
Yes.
We do. We
Yes.
are booked just about every weekend. But of course, there is room on the calendar. And we're always looking for new community partnerships because, again, as James said, we are really the connectors for entrepreneurs. We've created a space where we can listen, where we can help them plan their strategy to build and expand their business. We hope that they don't stay. We want our businesses to be able to scale, and we want them to grow. But we also want to foster a sense of community so that we always remember where we started, and we can reach back and help those that are beginning as startups.
All I need is an idea.
Yes.
I know.
You have
That's
an
where we're
idea.
lacking.
I do have
Can
an
you give
idea.
us an idea?
Yeah, you have an idea.
Well, if you have any questions or you'd like to get in touch with DK Solutions or the Annex or see if they can help grow your idea, you can see the information right there, dksolutionsevents.com, and they're all over social media as well, and a couple of special events they have coming up as well, too. And one last quick question, any issues with working together? Because I always wonder if I could work with
Debbie,
my
you're
husband.
not going there, are you?
Yeah.
We have been married 20 years, and we have been entrepreneurial partners for 18. So we have figured it out.
Good for you.
We really don't have issues.
You need to share that with the rest of us.
Well, congratulations and continued success. We certainly hope you enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents.
And we want to thank our happily married guests today and you at home for watching too.
We'll see you next time here on St. Louis Presents.
Maybe you could do like a